business. Here's Kris McCusker, business editor for CityNews. There's a lot going on. Good morning, Kris.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. All right, let's. We got airlines not doing well. We got two banks failing in the States. But let's begin with tech. More cuts at Facebook, Meta, and Apple. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so what we're hearing about Apple this morning, Sid, is that they are looking at delaying bonuses in some of its divisions and then freezing hiring in some other divisions at Apple. And both moves, of course, intended to cut costs. And this is the latest tech company to consider spending less. We did hear that Meta, the parent company of Facebook, looking at cutting 10,000 jobs in this second wave of major layoffs at the social media company. Although in fairness, the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, did say while announcing the layoffs in November that the company was looking to be more efficient. But of course, some other big tech names have also been reducing positions, some of which saw a pretty big boost in business during the pandemic. Companies like Zoom Video, Dell, IBM, Microsoft, and Amazon. So not entirely surprising to see both Facebook and Apple sort of cutting back as well.
Moving on, Kris, story flared up over the weekend concerning Flair Airlines. To no one's surprise, we're getting some mixed messages as to what exactly happened here. What's the latest?
Yeah, and what we're hearing now is that the company that sees those planes, the leasing company, says that the carrier regularly missed payments over the past 5 months. Now, Flair found itself down by more than a fifth of its fleet after those planes were confiscated by Airborne Capital on Saturday, and that forced the airline to cancel multiple flights. Flair has deemed the actions extreme and unusual, and the CEO, Stephen Jones, told reporters on Monday that the company is now 100% caught up after being a few days in arrears, with about $1 million owing on the jetliners, Sid. So yes, mixed messages and kind of conflicting comments, let's say. This isn't over yet, I will say that.
No, it isn't. And I find it amazing, again, there's a reason I'm not in business, but I do find it amazing that some of the lines coming out of Flair Airlines initially were, yeah, we missed a few payments, but these things happen.
Right.
No, you missed payments, you missed payments. I kind of agree with the seizure, but hey, who am I? Finally, again, the two banks that collapsed in the U.S., as I mentioned, since Friday. It's still kind of shocking to say. The American government, I actually think the White House have done a pretty good job in reacting to this, but now the Justice Department have some questions.
And the Securities and Exchange Commission. So two investigations now of this collapse into Silicon Valley Bank. And this is the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. And the actions of senior executives will be under the microscope, according to reports. The Federal Reserve also conducting its own inquiry. And changes could include tougher rules for mid-sized banks in order to avoid a repeat. Now, still with bank news this morning, Sid, U.S.-listed shares in Credit Suisse in the red this morning after that bank's top shareholder ruled out more assistance for the Swiss bank. Saudi National Bank says it absolutely will not provide any more help after the bank's annual report uncovered weak financial controls. Now, the Credit Suisse chairman saying this morning that the institution's capital and balance sheet are strong. He's ruling out any comparison to what happened at Silicon Valley Bank, noting different regulations and the fact that it already underwent restructuring. But all of this, of course, is the backdrop now for the U.S. Federal Reserve, which is set to make an interest rate announcement next week. That inflation data we got yesterday might complicate the Fed's decision next week. So over here, you've got banks struggling, and then over here, you've got inflation still super hot. So yeah, the discussion now, or the debate, I guess, is either the Fed next week is going to go 25 basis points or do nothing.
Yeah, the U.S. Federal Reserve have some decisions to make after what happened over the last week or so.
Yes.
Kris McCusker, City News, fantastic job. Appreciate you, Kris. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, you too.